So, be our guest.
Seven minutes to go to showtime.
Hot popcorn, just pop. Fresh roasted peanuts. How about a pizza? None better anywhere. Sizzling hamburgers grilled to your taste. We've a large assortment of freshly made sandwiches.
Minutes to go to showtime.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
I'd like 2 of those, please.
Hot dogs? Yes, sir.
And 3 of those, and 1 of those, and 5 bars of these, and a cup of that nice hot liquid.
Coffee. Coming right up.
Oh, and 2 bags of those peculiar white coffee material.
You mean our crunchy popcorn? Shall I wrap that for you, sir?
Oh, that's all right. My saucer's just outside.
They come from miles to enjoy our intermission.
5 minutes to go.
Hello there. Here's the demonstration of my new invention, the goodies machine. The machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you.
To go to showtime.
As everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Brother, I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Nathan, there's better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here, no.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
The crowds are thinning out at the snack bar, folks, and there are still 3 minutes till showtime. You can easily make it for something that'll just hit the spot. How about it? Don't waste a second of refreshment time. You'll find such an appetizing assortment of refreshments at the snack bar, you won't be able to decide what to ask for first. All of your snack bar favorites are there, including fresh peanuts, hot popcorn, and candy of all kinds. And believe us, you've never eaten better hot dogs, crisper French fries, or more delicious buttered popcorn. minutes to go to the snack bar for a quick refresher before showtime. No crowds to buck, just go get it. You'll be sorry you missed your chance to enjoy some of the many tempting goodies waiting for you. Stretch your legs now while the stretching's good. There's still time to get a mouth-watering hot dog, a sparkling ice-cold soda, assorted flavors of ice cream, all kinds of candy, the most delicious steaming hot coffee you ever drank, and freshly popped popcorn piping hot. Make a beeline for the snack bar right now to quench your thirst. One minute left to top off the evening with a treat from our snack bar. Still time if you hurry. Last call for refreshments, folks. Go right this second to get something good to eat and drink to enjoy now or during the rest of the show. The finest quality ingredients are in the fixings of the delicious foods you'll find waiting to tempt your appetite at the snack bar. Extra special good hamburgers, wonderful donuts, ice-cold thirst-quenching drinks. Pizza generously sliced, steaming hot, fresh coffee, ice cream in many flavors. It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Hi, how are you? Because I'm fan-fucking-tastic. So since the boyfriend is playing more Dead by Daylight tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and do 428 again, and I don't know. We'll do Days Gone some other time at the moment, but
I'm sorry.
huh?
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I don't care.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing speaking things.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I don't care. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing some 428 and continue from that. And then, of course, end the night with some more Blender. So, let's just jump right into it. As soon as the game loads, at least.
Green ranks.
Oh, my God. I think... Oh, yeah, that's right. I did a monitor capture, actually.
I mean, purple
So I should
is the same.
probably do that.
Honestly, so is red. Solo queue and
I don't know if the game is actually going to be captured, but we could try.
even duo queue.
Yeah, the game's not being captured
I-
for whatever
no, I
reason.
don't think it's designed to be like that. It's just
Try
sometimes
that.
random
Doesn't
people
work.
game, No matter what their rank, they don't.
So yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of background.
And if you run the killer for like minutes on the end, it's
I
not a single
apologize.
generator
I
pop,
can't
it's so
do anything about
annoying.
that. I don't want to move this rig
No, they're
into
so
another room.
scared of
It's a
getting
lot of
out
shit.
that they'll be on the corner of the
And that's
map
a lot of
or
work.
hiding in basement.
Daddy doesn't have time for a lot of work. What the fuck? It just went away. There we go. Now it's back. There it goes.
I love Legion.
Alright, so last time I left off with a bad ending. It was this one.
No ruin.
I want to see what the hint is, because I don't remember what I have to do next.
Haunted.
So I'll skip past all this. If I could remember the button to skip. Shit, what's the button to skip? I mean, I could do this, but that doesn't fast forward.
Hell yeah, she left me by the way.
Come on. Oh, to be continued, rather. I thought it was a dead end. Never mind. In a way, it's a dead end, but whatever. It's neither here nor there.
I don't like using
Oh, Jesus.
self-care in
Oh,
this
Jesus.
game,
Everything's
especially
flickering.
when it's
Why
lit.
did that happen? Hold on a minute. Trying to rearrange some windows here so I can see things better.
I like using
There we go.
second wind now.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, that's fine. I guess we're on to this one.
My favorite. Yeah.
I'm just confused as to what I need to go back to. I guess this one? But he's just going to be shot at the end. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. The man shot out onto a major thoroughfare, then bolted up a pedestrian bridge. I feel like that didn't happen last time.
Point and laugh.
Just where the heck was this guy heading? Halfway across the bridge, the man stopped abruptly. Cautious, Kano stopped as well.
Hey, look, Jake has the
Height, roughly 190 centimeters. Age, 30s. Hair, dark brown. Clothing, all black. A moment later, the man flashed a triumphant sneer, and he held up the attaché case. Before Kano could even yell, "Stop!" it was already too late. Well, is he gonna let go? The man threw the attaché case down to the roadway below, so all that money is gonna go everywhere. Panicking, Kano peered over the railing. A man on a motorcycle was waiting beneath the bridge. I've been had. Kano bit his lip hard. Damn it. Kano sprinted back down the bridge. Hearing the bike's engine roar to life, he had to make it in time. Descending the stairs 4 at a time, he leapt toward the roadway, but the bike sped out of reach and roared away in the direction of Yoyogi, leaving Kano in its dust. Looking back up at the overpass, he saw the man who'd thrown the attaché case running away. He handed the money off to someone else. He's currently on a motorcycle heading toward Yoyogi. His report to Kuze complete, Kano slumped down in dismay. The cops had played right into the criminal's hands. Now the crooks were getting away, and people's lives were in danger. Was there any greater failure for a policeman? Staring off into the distance where the man had thrown the case had disappeared, Kano gritted his teeth. Wait, so that's 2 to be continued. So what am I supposed to do if there's no third character? You finished reading both character stories for the hour of 10 in 428. You'll make your way through all the protagonists' stories in parallel like this. Once everyone has reached the end of a given hour, the next hour can begin. Oh. That makes sense.
I like using where you put in their information because some people try to duct check me and I'll instantly just grab them off a pallet and they'll
Now we have the title screen. Okay. Osawa, Minorikawa, Tama, Achi, and whoever the 5th guy is. You can reread previous tutorial messages via the main menu. You have 5 protagonists available. Whose story will you read first? Alright. Minorikawa, Osawa, Tom. I like the little wiggle. Oh, that wiggle. Commence the jiggle. Actually, he's still badass, but he's still pretty fucking retarded. I just love the wiggle too much. I can't get enough of the wiggle. I need an hold on. Let me see if there's an animation of that available somewhere. I need it. 428. Tama. Wiggle. I want the animation.
Do it. Pop it now, pop it now, pop
Gib.
it now, pop it now.
Give animation. I want the animation. I don't think there is going to be one. I mean, we get that. But that's not the same as the wiggle.
If I can.
I want the wiggle. So I'm disappointed. Hold on a second. No wiggles. No wiggles. Maybe if I do fuck, how do I do the thing? Tools. Type. GIF. Oh my god. Oh no. I know what this one is. Oh, that's so good. Oh, goddamn. There it is in its original. Oh god. He's excited. Okay, enough of this. Let's get back to the game.
Come get the unhook.
Alright, I guess we'll continue with Achi. The man with a cane aimed his gun at Hitomi, his face devoid of emotion.
Run. She's gonna hook me. She's gonna hook me.
Please, the girl said, trembling. Why are you doing this? But the man did not reply. Quickly, Achi stepped in between Hitomi and the gun, spreading his arms wide. Stop, he said in English, one of the few English words he knew. He quickly reverted back to Japanese. Who the hell are you? Still, the man did not respond. You know this guy, Hitomi? No. Achi was sure he'd never seen the man either. What are you after? Money? 'Cause if you are, boy, are you wasting your time chasing us. The man furrowed his brow, adjusting his point of aim to Achi's face. His bloodthirsty gaze left Achi no doubt that he was willing to pull the trigger. Reflexively, Achi took a step back, his foot clattering against a discarded beer bottle. We're gonna get gunned down for sure, unless we can find some way to catch this guy off guard. It didn't need to be much. If Achi could just distract the gunman for a moment, buy himself the briefest window. Shoot me then. Go on, do it! He stepped forward as he shouted, hoping the provocation would confuse the guy for just long enough. Even as Achi moved, the gunman's attention was distracted for an instant by a sudden sound. The phone in his breast pocket was ringing. Seeing his chance, Achi fucked up. I'm gonna fuck up. That's what's gonna happen. Achi, snatched up the beer bottle and smacked him. Seeing his chance, Achi snatched up the beer bottle and swung it at the assassin. The man narrowly avoided being struck, but he staggered wildly off balance. He told me! Achi grabbed her by the hand and dashed out of the club. The two sprinted away through the side streets and alleys of Shibuya. Achi began to feel as if they were running some maddening maze. Before long, the two had made it almost as far as Aoyama. Wait up! Huh? Achi, wait up! Achi glanced back at Hitomi. My bad. Guess we've been running pretty hard. You tired? Hitomi shook her head. No, it's just... I have to get to Dogenzaka. Dogenzaka? What for? What could she possibly need to do there now? That's what I was told when I handed over the attaché case. The man leaned in to whisper to Hitomi as he reached out for the case. You're going to do exactly as I tell you. two things.
If you guys can leave, leave.
He wore a cool, feigned smile, as if this were some casual conversation, rather. First, you're going to go to Dogenzaka and get in the blue van there. Hitomi nodded wordlessly. Second, you will not attempt to contact either the police or your family in the meantime.
Bruh.
His chilling tone brooked no argument. Just those two things, and we'll let your sister go. Hitomi nodded again. The man flashed her a big, bright grin. Okay, then. Give me the money. A blue van in Dogenzaka, huh? Achi muttered. So that's why you said the police were a no-go. Yes, exactly. Hitomi's voice betrayed her desperation. I wonder if your sister's in that van, then. If she is, then we've got to hurry. The issue lay in how to get to Dogenzaka. They could probably avoid their pursuer if they kept to streets only the locals usually knew about. That meant staying off the more well-trafficked routes like Roppongi-dori or the stretch between I always fuck up that one.
Yeah,
Miyama Suzaka and the station. The side roads south of the station were their best bet. It was going to be a long detour. All right, come on. Turning, Achi headed back the way they'd come. After a moment's confusion, Hitomi followed. Achi? There was a note of worry in her voice. Hey. Hey, don't sweat it. I actually live in Dogenzaka. We're headed right back to my old neighborhood.
I think we're going to live
Hitomi bowed her head. Thank you so much. Hey, it's no problem. I had to head home anyway. Achi gave her a grin and she cracked a tiny smile of her own. Hey, you two... You got a minute? Achi looked around. A pair of men approached from across the street. There was something shady looking about them. Achi's protective instincts kicked in, and he stepped in front of Hitomi. If these guys meant trouble, he wanted to be ready. We just want to ask you something. The younger of the two men drew in closer, a sharp gleam in his eye. Achi braced himself. Ask us what? You know where the Nokane building is? The man held up a flyer. It was from some sort of health food sales demo. Come on, man, the Nokane building? You know where it is, or not? Achi knew the name. Wasn't that one of the buildings on Center Guy? That was near Dogenzaka, the same direction he was going. Ah, shit, okay. Let's see, no harm in helping a couple lost dudes. I don't like the thought of these two following Hitomi and me.
Alright, self-care.
I think in this case... I mean, okay, so we know... What we know is... Chick's sister is kidnapped. There was ransom. She was told when she was handing over the attaché case to go to Dogenzaka, get in the van, and then they released the sister. So, I'm pretty sure obviously that's fake. So they just want both of them for whatever reason. We don't know who works for those people. We do know that there was at least two people. One was a foreigner that was the one running away with the briefcase. He's not here now. And then there's also somebody on a motorcycle who did the drop-off, or who took it from the drop-off, rather. So...
Careful. Shit.
That would mean that whoever's in charge has people working for him to do this. So I don't trust it. I don't like the thought of these two following Hitomi and me. Achi pointed them in the opposite direction from Center Guy. Pretty sure it's that way, he said.
tinkerer, I think.
Thanks, man. Sorry to bug you. The two men headed off toward the main road.
Is that ruin gone?
I have a feeling they're going to be side characters, though. Achi and Hitomi hurried
Well,
onward,
this
following
side
the
up there,
sparsely
by the
trafficked
way.
side streets toward Dogonzaga. I don't think I even knew this part of Shibuya was here, Hitomi said as she looked around. Yeah, a lot of people don't. I used to mess around in this neighborhood when I was a kid. The area was a mishmash of rundown residences and office buildings. Almost nobody ever comes here unless they live or work on one of these streets.
Mine's in 4.
And check it out, over there, a rare first-hand glimpse of the Shibuya River. What is the Shibuya River? I can honestly tell you, it's basically like this year-round until it hits the rainy season, and then it's like an actual river. But until then, it's just fucking empty and dry. So let's see, a minor river that runs from Miyamasu Bridge to the Tengen Bridge, depicted in the 36 Views of Mount Fuji by Edo period ukiyo-e artist Hokusai. In Hokusai's time, fireflies were collected from the Shibuya River and presented to the shogun, lending credence to the idea that the river was indeed clean in the past.
Got him. Go first, go first.
Have you always lived in Shibuya, Achi? Yep, born and raised.
You're welcome.
Achi bent down to pick up a piece of trash from the roadside. That's why I do this. It just pisses me off to see folks make a mess of this place. He picked up another piece of trash.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have a job, so I just pick up garbage every day. Man, what am I even doing? Like, cleanup even matters right now. Hitomi took a long, hard look at his face. What? He demanded. What is it?
Motherfucker.
You're a strange one, Achi. That's so? She was right, of course. It was sort of strange, collecting trash every day instead of getting a job. He had his reasons for it, but they weren't important
Take
right
like
now.
3 more.
Right now, the important thing was getting Hitomi to Dogonzaga. Come on, he murmured. A sudden angry shout broke the silence as they hurried along. Hey, hold it right there! Achi and Hitomi stopped, but the shout wasn't directed at them. Further up the road, a group of thuggish-looking men were having some kind of argument. The man who was shouting had grabbed one of the others by the neck. Idiots! And you still got the gall to call yourselves SOS? What the fuck is SOS? The Studs of Shibuya, a youth gang operating out of Shibuya, founded by Achi Endo. Its current leader is Susumu Nishizawa. Oh, so former members. I mean, yeah, Susumu, but... The other man standing around looked distinctly uncomfortable.
Is he literally just camping at the top of the stairs?
It takes money to run an organization. No, I know, and since it's not like you're Achi or nothing, I thought you could maybe spare some help on that front, boss. Yeah, I think we already know who the boss is. Hitomi looked at Achi when the stranger spoke his name. He smiled awkwardly, then turned back to the altercation. Shut your mouth, Susumu barked. How dare you say Achi's name in my presence? Hey! Achi called out. What was that about me? As soon as they saw him, the other men went pale. Achi kept his tone casual as he strolled up to the group. Susumu, you can't just give the guy a beat down in broad daylight. Don't want to shock the upstanding people of our fair city. Achi, Susumu glared. Can we drop the pleasantries? Achi replied with a hint of a sneer. You got it, Susumu. And I'd like to point out we're not on a first-name basis. With that, Susumu turned and stalked away. His buddies followed suit, leaving Achi and Hitomi alone again. Did you know that guy? Hitomi asked. His name's Susumu Nishizawa. And yeah, I know him. Or I thought I did. Used to be friends way back. Me and those guys were all part of the same crew, but I bailed a little while ago. Achi fell silent. To his great relief, Hitomi didn't pry further.
Nope.
Achi and Hitomi had gone a short distance further when he caught sight of a man picking something up alongside the train tracks. Huh, I wonder. Achi went over to him. Hey man, you picking up trash by any chance? Huh? The man let out a panicked shout. Why is there a definition for man? Oh, it's because we know his name, apparently. Taisei Yasuda. 35 years old, just opened up a knick-knack shop in Shibuya. Achi knows Shibuya like his own backyard, but this Yasuda guy is new enough that Achi doesn't recognize him. Sorry, it just kind of looked like that's what you're doing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm picking up trash, of course. The guy seemed pretty unnerved. Like, I just got to thinking, man, this place is filthy. Right on! Achi clasped the man's hand in his own. Someone else who gets it. What the fuck is with this? He is dumb as shit. He is super fucking dumb. You know, we're just heading to Dogonzaka because somebody's life's in danger, but, you know, let's stop here because somebody's picking up trash, and we pick up trash too, and oh my god, we're like the same person. They do? Totally! I see all this trash all over the place, and I can't stand it. Oh, yeah, sure. And the man breathed a sigh of relief. I can't stand it when someone throws something away when it can still be useful. I hear that. That's the spirit. Achi pulled out the trash he had stuffed in his pocket. Here you go. Huh? Go ahead, have all of it. The man looked dumbfounded. Usually I go around picking up the trash around here, but I've got a little thing I gotta do today. You got it from here. I'm counting on you. What? Actually, I'm kind of... Great, thanks. Achi beamed in approval, then rejoined Hitomi and headed on down the street.
I hate how his whips always hit.
The man let out a sigh. Fine.
I'm dead on hooks.
He just accepted it. Slipping through a narrow back alley, they came out near the top of Dogonzaka. Achi looked down the hill but didn't see a blue van anywhere. He and Hitomi started making their way down toward Shibuya Station. Hitomi muttered to herself, I don't see it parked around here. Her face twisted up with worry.
Nope.
It was a lot harder to find street parking closer to the station. Hitomi, hold up. Achi had a sudden idea. He darted into a nearby soba restaurant, motioning for Hitomi to follow. Heya! He called out to the proprietress, a sharp-eyed middle-aged woman. You're looking as lovely as ever today, I see. Oh, Achi! Are you done collecting trash for the day? The lady took a look at Hitomi, her eyes lighting up. Maki Yoneda. When she was 19, she happened to stop by this place and was captivated by the chilled curry soba. By day's end, she had decided to make the restaurant her new home, married the owner at age 22, and they managed the establishment together. Last year, her husband of 30 years passed away. Now she safeguards the generations-old secret of chilled curry soba on her own. Is this your girlfriend? Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing like that. The proprietress was undeterred. Oh, she looks just like a model. She's the spitting image of me at that age. My. Achi's got himself a girlfriend. I said it's not like that. The woman waved Hitomi over. Now, you know Achi's got a bit of a mouth on him, and he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's a sweet boy. Okay. Hitomi forced a polite smile to her face. He'll try to deny it, but don't you listen. Has he told you about Suzune? Ma'am, please. Achi jumped in on the conversation. You gotta hear me out. Whatever's the matter? I'm just trying to talk up your good points. Have you seen a van parked around here? A van? Let me think. Yes, come to think of it, there was. A blue one, she added confidently. Hitomi leaned forward. Where is it now? She asked. Well, I'm not really sure. I don't keep a close eye on things outside, after all. Hitomi slumped. I see. I know it doesn't look it, but I've been quite busy today. The man who makes my noodles came by earlier to settle accounts, and we fought and fought over it. No head for finances, that one. That's his problem, honestly. And on top of that, of course my part-timer Masa has to have today off. Honestly.
Yeah, get ready your stacks. Get ready your stacks, homie.
First-year student at Midoriyama Academy. A sweet young man who works as a part-time delivery driver for Dogen Hut. And sends all his leftover money to his mother out in the country. Lately, however, he's gotten himself a girlfriend, and he's been sending money back home less frequently. His noodle house job doesn't pay enough to both support his mom and cover his dating expenses, so he's scheming for a way to make it rich quick. Achi frowned. Had she really seen a blue van, or was she just being chatty? I think we'll go for A. Older women who ran tobacco shops or noodle houses did seem to have a knack for spotting details. Achi decided to follow up some more. Was there anything unusual about this van? Well, let me think. The woman frowned, pausing a moment in thought. Aha! A flash of recollection shone in her eye. That's right, now I remember. I think there was some foreigner sitting inside. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances. Yes, I'm sure of it. The man who makes my noodles said he saw it too. Was there anything else? Hitomi asked. No, not that I can remember. Hitomi hung her head in frustration as they left the soba shop. Achi did his best to cheer her up.
He's got to say,
Hey, we might still find that car. Let's try waiting around here for a while. Just waiting? What good will that do? It's possible that they went looking for you when you didn't show, Achi said. Maybe they'll come back, you know? He sat down on the edge of a planter outside the restaurant. But the criminals already have the money, she said anxiously. Even Achi understood the implications. Now that the crooks had the ransom, their hostage was nothing but a liability. Why take the risk of letting her go when they already had what they wanted? The situation was bad. Very bad. Still, just running around Shibuya willy-nilly was only going to tire and frustrate them. Achi wanted to make sure Hitomi had the chance for a little break. We don't have anywhere else to look, so let's just give it 10 minutes, okay? He said. Hitomi seemed unconvinced. She looked like she might just march off down Dogenzaka at any moment. I understand how you must feel, but you know what they say. Slow and steady, stay in place. Hitomi burst out laughing. What's so funny? It's slow and steady wins the race. For real? Hitomi smiled and sat down beside him. All right. We can wait here 10 minutes, she said. Cool. We've run enough races today already, right? Hitomi kept her eyes on the cars passing through Dogenzaka for a while. Then she murmured softly to Achi. Thank you so much for everything. Really. You can thank me after we find this van. I'm sure if I'd been by myself, I'd have been in too much of a panic to do anything. What can I say? I try to keep my head up and face things as they come. You're quite the optimist, aren't you? Achi grinned. He tried to recall what optimist meant. He was pretty sure it had something to do with doctors. Or maybe glasses.
wow, you better get started.
The shy, sweet look on Hitomi's face, as she said it, though, made him figure it probably wasn't a bad thing, whatever it was. God, you are dumb as fuck. Cars drifted on by, one after the other. But they saw no sign of a blue van. After a while, even Achi began to grow impatient. This was starting to feel like a waste of time. And then... he told me, look. There it was. Motherfucker. Well, I must have made good choices up until this point. Because nothing led to a bad ending. Alright, so Achi's done for now. We can go back to Kano. We have Minorikawa, Osawa, and Tama with the wiggle. Let's do the wiggle.
I've got maybe a match left in me. Maybe 2. I know, right? I gotta do shit in the morning.
It's so hot.
I know, right?
It's so hot in this thing. Way, way too hot. I feel like I'm sitting in a sauna. Everyone else on the street looks nice and cool. But here I am getting treated to my very own personal midsummer heat wave. On top of that, I can barely see. I can barely breathe, for that matter. But hey, what can I do? Huff, huff, pant, pant, whatever. I am so thirsty. Some iced tea would be amazing right now. I'm gonna pass out from dehydration at this rate. I might as well admit it. I underestimated how tough this would be. Who knew wearing a mascot costume could be so uncomfortable? A delicate young lady like myself has no business doing this sort of job. I suddenly have so much respect for the people on those superhero team shows. Like, can you imagine doing action scenes in something like this? Heck, all I'm doing is standing here and I'm this close to calling it quits. But I can't. I need the work. I need the money. This is no time to be a wuss. If I give up on this, what else am I possibly going to do? Check out the revolutionary new diet drink, Burning Hammer! I thrust a free sample towards passers-by while shouting as loud as I can. Come on and give it a try! It's no use. People just walk by, one after the other. They avoid looking at the sample. It's been like this ever since I started standing here. What gives? You'd figure at least one person would have taken a bottle by now. I mean, it's free, but I haven't managed to give away a single one.
Oh, it's a Bubba?
If this keeps up, there's no way I'm getting paid. And this whole miserable experience will have been for nothing. Just drink this and watch the pounds melt away. No exercising or dieting necessary. I can hear the desperation in my own voice. Just burn! 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 Burn those pounds away! They're giving me cold looks now. They'll probably think I'm some shyster trying to offload dodgy product. It's that simple! That simple, folks! You just drink the weight away. I guarantee it! Heck, this whole thing reeks of a scam to me, too. I think we know what that means. Losing weight just by drinking some concoction is way too good to be true. But still, free is free. You'd think I'd be able to give 1 or 2 away. It's not like I'm trying. I'm not trying, rather. Okay, pep talk time. You can do this. Think about the money. Just start with 1 bottle. All right. I'm going to give this bottle away to the next person I see, no matter what. I close my eyes and gather my determination.
Jake, you're gonna have to go.
I just need to get started, and the momentum will build from there.
That's all.
All right, eyes open. There are 2 people walking in my direction. Wait, 2? Oh no. Which one do I pick? If I keep waffling, they're both going to pass me by. I just need to hand this bottle off. Which one of these guys looks more likely to take it? Clutching the free sample in my furry fist. I force it off on the disheveled fellow to my right.
I know this because I'm hacking.
To my surprise, he takes it. Huh? What's this? He asks, lifting an eyebrow as he looks at the bottle.
Hacking hacker.
I flap my fuzzy arms and strike a cute pose as I launch into the product pitch.
He's on me.
It's Burning Hammer, the #1 new diet drink. Please give it a try. No thanks, the man says. I'm good. I keep my arms held open wide and pretend I didn't hear that. Look, he says. I'm in a hurry. You should give this to someone else. He tries to hand the sample back to me, but I hold my ground.
We haven't gotten any fucking...
For a few moments, we are at a silent impasse. Maybe he's weirded out by my cat alter ego holding the freeze frame pose, because eventually he looks away, slips the bottle into his pocket, and walks off. I did it. I finally got someone to take one. But there are still so many samples left. My brief surge of excitement dies before it can even fully take hold. I wonder how the other mascot is doing about now. There's a sales demo happening today at 1 o'clock at the Nokane building. Huh? Looks like the chicken has handed out all kinds of samples. I don't get it. How come nobody is taking any of mine? What could I possibly be doing wrong? I look at the clock. It's a little after 11. My morning of wandering around hawking diet drinks is just about over. I'll need to get ready to head over to the sales demo. I'd love to take the costume off, but then I'd have to carry it. The samples I haven't given out are almost too heavy as it is. Oh well. I might not have gotten results, but I tried my best. I sure hope they don't withhold my pay or anything. Hey, what gives? You got that many left? The chicken speaks with a female voice. Yeah, I reply sheepishly. Nobody seems to want to take mine. Well, I mean, are you looking for the right targets? Huh? Like groups of girls or bored-looking older ladies. Those are the types you gotta be gunning for, you know? Well, I hadn't even considered that. Now that she says it, it seems so obvious. This is a diet drink, after all. Of course, I'm not going to have any luck trying to foist it off on random guys. Well, whatever, the chicken says. Here, give me the samples you've got left. I handed over my samples, and the chicken dumps the whole lot into her basket. I'll drink whatever's left so they don't find out you didn't pass them out, she says. Huh? Wait, like, all of them? Yeah, all of them. The chicken sounds pretty confident in herself. These may just be sample-sized bottles, but still, they add up to a lot. I can feel myself on the brink of tears at the kindness of her offer. Thank you so much. That's a huge help. I bow deeply, which makes my mascot head wobble. Leaving the station behind, we head down Center Guy towards the Nokane building. The Burning Hammer sales demo is going to be held there this afternoon. What is the Nokane building, you may ask? It's a multi-tenant office building in Udagawacho, located in Center Guy, Shibuya's downtown district. In addition to hosting the weight loss drink sales demo, the building is also home to the foreign capital protection firm Japan Cellcom, the IT mainstay Shibuya OnNet, video game developer Shindai Tradco, and Strike Back Labs, publisher of the monthly magazine Science Strikes Back, along with many other businesses. The job's supposed to pay 10,000 yen for the day, but if we can sell at least 100 bottles at the demo, they've promised another 10,000 on top of that. I need to make sure I sell those 100 bottles. I need that 20,000 yen, and I need it ASAP. We arrive at the Nokane building, a rundown multi-tenant office complex. We head into the room where the Burning Hammer sales demo is taking place. There are already about 50 seats set out. I wonder how many people the free samples will pull in. A stage has been set up at the far end of the room. That's where I'm going to be standing, sipping Burning Hammer while explaining its effects to the customers. Hurry up and take that thing off. The chicken flaps her wings as she speaks. It's kinda early, but come on, let's have lunch. I'm starving. Now that she mentions it, I realize I'm pretty hungry myself. The demo's not starting for another 2 hours. I can't win a war against my stomach for that long. The chicken and I head to the waiting room where they've set out our lunches for us. Mind getting my back real quick? The chicken asks. She arches her back toward me. Apparently she can't reach her own zipper. Oh, sure, give me just a sec. I try to unzip the back of the chicken's suit, but my own suit's thick, fuzzy fingers have a hard time of it. What's the holdup? Come on, I'm roasting in this thing. Hurry up and get it off me. I've almost got it. It's just awkward with these mitts. Finally, I get hold of the zipper and yank it downward. A girl emerges from the chicken as if the chicken itself were an egg. Phew. I'm alive! Her red sweatshirt is drenched in sweat. Almost at once, she's kicking back and cooling off with a hand fan. Sorry, but would you mind getting me too? I ask. Yeah, okay. I turn my back to the girl. I hear metal clacking behind me. At long last, I'm about to be free of this 5-ton fursuit. Uh-huh? The girl murmurs awkwardly. Huh? What? A spike of anxiety hits me. What's wrong? I ask. Yeah, that's a no-go. Zipper's busted. What? Yeah, sorry. This thing ain't coming off. What? My vision goes dark. No. I tug desperately at the costume, but no luck. I'm trapped inside. Oh, what the crap? Well, we could talk to the boss about it when he gets back, the girl says. I mean, it's not like we can just cut it off you with scissors or anything. She sounds entirely unconcerned. It's so unfair. I need to get out of this stuffy, sweltering steam bath as soon as possible. All I can do is clench my fist in an impotent rage. But anyway, good work out there today, the girl continues. I'm Chiriko Osugi, by the way. You can just call me Chidi. She smiles as she introduces herself. I mean, I am a pretty cheery gal, after all. She breaks into a hearty guffaw. Oh, sure, I say. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, for sure. So, I guess you're not gonna be able to eat lunch in that getup, huh? Huh? Gah! That's right. What should I do? Don't sweat it. Just leave it to me. Huh? I'll eat both lunches myself. Chidi doesn't even wait for me to reply before reaching for my lunch. It'd be a shame to let it go to waste, she says. She makes it sound like leftover food is a big concern than my hunger. I can feel my appetite stirring all the more as she devours my meal with a satisfied grin on her face. A faint, pathetic gurgle rises from my belly. It's just a cheap little pre-packaged box lunch, but right now it looks like a feast. So what's your name? Chidi asks. Her cheeks are still packed with rice. My name? Yeah. Oh, it's, As I struggled to think of an answer, my eyes alight on the piece of tamagoyaki clutched between Chidi's chopsticks. The yellow slab of lightly grilled egg wobbles to and fro. I can see the inside from the way it's been sliced. It looks somewhat undercooked. Come on, what's your name? Oh, right. Tama. It's Tama. Huh? You mean like the famous cat? Well, ain't that fitting? Chidi chortles and stuffs the piece of tamagoyaki into her mouth, then takes a big swig of iced tea. I am beyond jealous. I wish I could gorge myself on those lunch boxes until I'm full to bursting. Heck, even a cold glass of iced tea would be a lifesaver right now. I'm so thirsty, I'm starting to get all dizzy.
Hey, yo.
Hey, T. Maybe I really am getting dehydrated. This isn't good. If I don't do something, I'm going to pass out before the sales demo even starts. And then I remember something. The zipper down my back might be busted, but I can still take the head off, right? That way, I'd at least be able to eat and drink stuff. All right. I decide to... I decide to ask Chidi. Sorry, would you mind helping me pull my... Ow! I feel a dull throbbing pain at the back of my head, like I bumped my head somewhere. But I don't remember doing that recently. Chidi flashes me a curious look.
What is happening in the game?
What are you doing? She asks. So what you missed was... let me pull it up real quick here, actually. Where were we? Okay, so we left off with Achi in the bar with the chick. So Achi, the dude with the gun, he had a phone in his pocket and it started ringing. So Achi took a bottle that was on the floor and swung it at him. The dude dodged out of the way, but was still kind of fumbling, so they ran out together. And they were running, and then the chick was like, hey, wait a minute. There's something I gotta tell you. The dude who took the case told me that I have to go to Dogonzaka and get inside a blue van. So now they're trying to head over to Dogonzaka so they can try to find this blue van. And that's where we left off with them, is that they made it to Dogonzaka, and then I assume they saw the blue van, but it just kind of went to this keep out stage. So I switched over to this new character, Tama, who was selling diet drinks on the streets in Shibuya, and so far Tama wasn't able to actually hand out any of the diet drinks, but they had to go over to this sales demo for the health drink anyways. So they're on their way over there, they make it there, and she can't take off the suit. The zipper on the suit is busted. So she's stuck inside, sweating her balls off, or in this case, her tits, I guess. Sweating her tits off, and the other chick is eating her food and drinking her drink. So that's what's happening.
I'm gonna play one more because I'm really fucking I want an exciting final game.
Come on, Leo.
Okay. Well, you have a good one.
You want up here? Ugh. Let's try that again. I decided to ask Sherry. Blah, blah, blah. Ow!
Thank you for that. It was pretty epic.
Let's see. Chidi flashes me a curious look. What are you doing? She asks. I thought maybe I could at least get the head off. That ain't gonna work. That thing's attached to the body. I slumped forward in defeat, face planting on the tabletop. No. Most folks would have noticed that when they put it on, you know. Well, I didn't. The boss helped me get into it, is the thing. Well, don't let it get you down, Judy says. Here, drink some of this. She pulls a bottle with a straw from her bag and pours some of the tea into it. In a fever of thirst, I jam the plastic straw through the mascot's costume's mouth. Thankfully, it reaches as far as my own. I suck for all I'm worth. I suck and I suck and I suck.
Yeah.
My body rejoices as the moisture returns to it, like rain coming to the desert. Like the desert's mist away. And thus, I revive.
Shut down Luke.
Actually, it kind of does feel like I'm coming back to life.
He has to be doing this on purpose.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I've seen that I'm pretty sure are it's doing it on purpose now. Oh, thank you so much. I'm never going to forget this as long as I live. With tears welling up in my eyes, I clutch Chidi's hand in my fuzzy mitts. Hey, I'm not that kind of person to abandon somebody in need, you know, she replies. An embarrassed grin crosses her face. How come you're carrying this bottle around with you anyway? I ask. Oh, that's because I make my own protein juice. Protein juice? Never heard of it. I heard that if you have protein juice for one of your 3 meals a day, you'll lose weight. So yeah, I kind of need to keep it. Given Chidi's sort of, well, chubby frame, I don't think the protein's been working so great for her. I've been trying all sorts of stuff, but right now protein is totally the best thing for my diet. This stuff, though, Chidi casts her eyes at the samples of burning hammer on the table. It's like totally bogus.
Nice mark meow.
Hey, Snoop. Huh? Bogus? That's a surprise. Well, yeah, Chidi says. You gotta exercise if you want to burn body fat. She smacks herself on one flabby arm. I mean, there's no way you're gonna lose weight by taking in more calories. Huh. Didn't she just say she was drinking protein juice to lose weight? Leonidas, don't bite at the space bar. I need the space bar, dude. You're gonna forward the story a little too far. No, Leonidas, stop. Knock it off. Or I will throw you across the room. Huh. Didn't she? Yeah, I already read that, didn't I? Yeah. I mean, that'd be as ridiculous as all-you-can-eat Kobe beef, she adds. She shakes her head seriously. I'm not sure about using all-you-can-eat anything as an example in a discussion about weight loss. But again, I keep the thought to myself. But hey, a job's a job, Chidi says after a moment, perking up again. They tell me to sell this junk. I'll sell it. The door flies open suddenly and a loud voice belts out, "Hold it right there!" Oh, this fucking guy. I whirl around in a panic to see an odd-looking man standing in the doorway. It's Junichi Yanagishita. Yanagishita, that's his name, okay. He's the guy who hired us. I heard that, Chidi. Don't you go calling my product junk. That's disrespectful. Why Haas? That's the 7th, 8, 9 times now. I still don't know if Haas is a bot or not, but that's like the 9th alt account that they have that they followed me on. I don't know what's going on. But I'll take it. I don't give a shit.
Never spoken.
Chidi gave him an apologetic look. Whoops. Sorry about that. You should be, but whatever. If you really have doubts, have a try for yourself. Mr. Yanagashita pulls a bottle of burning hammer from his coat pocket. What is burning hammer, you may ask? Well, sister products include Dell Sweats, Cellulose, Better Sweater, Dom Pepperon, Power Burn Z, Mr. Thin, Nega Chow, and Super Nega Chow. At first glance, it looks like some kind of cheap energy supplement, but the cheapo label gives an immediate impression of sketchiness. Go on, says Yanagashita. Give it a go. Chidi reaches out to take it. But no sooner does she grab the bottle than Mr. Yanagashita shouts out once more, that fucking face. Wait, hold on! What? Chidi squawks. What gives? Leonidas, stop. Look. You two, you're both good, stomach-wise? Stomach-wise? Yeah, drinking this stuff on an empty stomach can cause some pretty nasty problems, so just make sure you eat or drink something beforehand. Doesn't matter, really. Okay, Kat, you keep chewing on the keyboard. Hold on. Yeet. I had to throw him across onto the bed. He was being a dick. Should just make sure you eat or drink something beforehand. Doesn't matter what, really. Wait, nasty problems? Yeah. Such as what, I ask. I'd rather not say. Nobody would buy it otherwise. Seriously? It's all good. I just had lunch, Chidi says. She flashes a carefree smile. Well, I haven't eaten yet. But on the other hand, I've been guzzling as much iced tea as I can to fill myself up. It's probably safe for me to try this stuff. She's gonna get like the fucking Hershey squirts. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I may as well try it. In for a penny, in for a pound. And hey, maybe it'll help me lose some weight. Highly doubt it. Can't take off the soup, but I stick the bottle of burning hammer into my mascot head mouth. It has an unexpected smell, like curry. Getting my own lips around the mouth of the bottle, I gulp down the liquid inside. Huh? It doesn't taste like anything. A handful of seconds go by.
Something straight off the DeviantArt discovery
What
page.
the heck? It feels like a firecracker just exploded inside my mouth. Now it's spicy. Way too spicy. It's like I just swallowed a chili pepper coated in curry powder. Before I know it, I'm sweating bullets. Well, you sweating, Mr. Yanagashi? Fucking this dude. I love his goofy faces. Like a whole lot? You are, aren't you? Why does he sound so happy about that? That right there is the magic of burning hammer at work. Chidi and I are at a loss for words. Burning hammer. Drink all you want and just burn those pounds away. How's that sound? Good, huh? This is just so stupid spicy it makes you sweat, Chidi blurts out. Blunt and to the point. I approve. Yeah? Well, I guess you're right. Yanagishita says. He hangs his head. What's in this stuff? I ask. I can still feel my tongue tingling. Heck, my body is almost too numb to move. I'm so shocked I even forget to get properly angry. So it's this health food product that got imported from America a few years back, Yanagishita explains. But the import agency went out of business not long after and couldn't move the merch. So I bought up the whole lot. Everything they had in their storehouse. Spent all the money I had on it. Chidi arches an eyebrow. How much did it cost you? She asks. 1 million yen. 1 million troops. Wow. For 300 bottles? Wait, what? 1 million for 300. 300 bottles at 1 million yen for the lot? That's roughly 3,333 yen apiece. Each one of these teensy little bottles costs over 3,000 yen? You got ripped off, man, Chidi says. You really think so? Huh. Yeah, you're probably right. He hangs his head even more despondently. This is the sort of thing they'd sell in 100 yen shops or something. Ouch. Chidi moving in for the kill. 100 yen shops? Really? Mr. Yanagishita lets out the heaviest of sighs. I'm starting to feel pretty bad for the guy, actually.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, doggy. Don't let it get you down, sir, I say, hoping to comfort him. But Mr. Yanagishita just lets out a sob-choked sigh. Why is there a definition for sigh? We know what a sigh is. Wait, whoa, hold on. There was another thing on that. Oh, we can jump. Interesting. I have to keep that in mind. I try again. It'll be okay whether or not it helps you lose weight. It is spicy and it does make you sweat. I'm not sure I follow, Chidi says. How much you selling these bottles for, boss? 15,000 yen per bottle. Are you fucking kidding? What? Chidi's jaw practically hits the floor. Mine does the same. No way. Nuh-uh. No freaking way. Call that price point absurd wouldn't begin to do it justice. Well, look. Selling it at that price is my only option. I need to cover my costs. Anyway, please, I need you both to work your hardest. Apparently he's committed to this insane course of action. Okay,
States was bad now.
Chidi replies. It's more like a sigh than a proper response, but I can't blame her. As for me, I can't Even find the words. I'm so flabbergasted. Hey, I try to murmur. Sorry, what was your name again? He interjects. Oh, right, I'm Tama. Why are you still wearing your costume? I stumble my way through an explanation. Wow. So then are you going to do the sales demo like that? Well, if I can't take the mascot costume off, I don't have much of a choice, do I? No, that won't do at all. I hired you to be a model. If you're wearing that thing, then what's the point? I'm at a loss for words. The point is exactly what he's missing. It's not like I'm wearing this getup because I want to. How about we just cut it off ya? Chidi says with a big grin. She pulls a massive pair of scissors out of her bag. The blades mark an unsettling snip, snip sound as she waggles them in my face. Whoa, no you can't do that, Yanagashita exclaims. That suit's a rental. I don't want to have to reimburse them for the thing. Well then what am I supposed to do? I ask. He looks at me uncertainly. Maybe you could have someone from the rental place come down, Chidi suggests, before helping herself to the rest of my lunch. Oh hey, good idea, Yanagishita says. He seems to be making an effort to calm himself down, at least. Just try to grin and bear it until then, Tama. Well, I guess that's that, then.
Oh, she's not even opening the
I'm sure we'll get it off eventually, I say. Hopefully before the demo.
I'm dead now because of her.
That's the spirit. I really need you to be my model. A model, huh? It's flattering, but I can't help but wonder, would I be any good at that? Well, this is no time to be timid. I need that money no matter what. My troubles all started earlier this morning. I was at a knick-knack shop at Center Guy. I'd happened to pass by and I spotted a red necklace on display in the storefront, and I got this weird sensation when I saw it. You could maybe call it deja vu or something like that. It was as if I'd been drawn to it somehow. This was mine. I was sure of it.
Exclamation.
I wanted it.
Deja vu.
No, I needed to make it mine. As soon as I possibly could. That's how strong the feeling was. The price was 40,000 yen. I checked my wallet repeatedly, but I only had 20,000 on me. Nonetheless, I needed to have it. There was just one question. How? Somehow I managed to drag myself away from the shop. Just a few minutes earlier, I ran into Mr. Yanagashita. Hey! A voice said out of nowhere. If you want, I can pay you 10,000 for a day's work. I found myself staring at this frumpy, middle-aged man who was handing me his business card. Managing Director, Junichi Yanagishita, Yamato Health Foods Company. I'm in a real bind here. Need some extra help. Would you mind coming with me? I'm begging you, just one day. He seemed pretty sketchy. As much as I needed money for that necklace, I wasn't going anywhere with some random weirdo. I ignored him and tried to just walk off. Please! Please! Yanagishita grabbed me by my hand. Watch it, pal, I snapped. Hands off or I start shouting for help. Please, it's not like that. Just hear me out. Look, I'm in a hurry. Please! Please! Knock it off. I spun forcefully away from him, yanking my hand from his grip. Oof! Yanagishita whirled through the air and fell into the bushes. Whoa, where'd that come from? He gasped. His eyes were wide as saucers. You a martial artist or something? No. I think that was just a fluke. The truth was I was surprised myself at how well I'd pulled off that escape move. Okay then. Look, I'm sorry. Can you give me a hand? No way. No, I mean, give me your hand. My hip's killing me here. Ow, 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 ow. I guess. The least I could do was help the guy get to his feet. Look, why are you hounding me so much? Please don't be angry. The moment I saw you, I just felt it. You're the only person who can possibly do this job for me. I let out a sigh, but my interest was admittedly piqued. What kind of job? I need a sales rep for a health supplement. I want you to do the PR as a dieting success story for my product. Just look at you. You have the body of an actress. Sales are gonna go through the roof. Well, it was hard to feel too offended when he told me that. The job didn't seem as fishy as I'd initially suspected. All right, maybe I'm interested, I said. There's just one thing. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure I can handle it. I need 20,000 yen as soon as possible. So if the day only pays 10,000, all right then. If you can sell 100 bottles at our sales event, I'll throw in another 10,000 as a bonus. How's that sound? I certainly couldn't think of any other way I was going to earn 20,000 yen in a single day. This might be exactly the break I needed. You've got a deal. You have my services for the day, I said, bowing my head. Yes! Yanagishita jumped for joy. What about your hip? Huh? Oh yeah, it's better now. All better. Fixed itself just now. Yanagishita bowed deeply as I gave him a dubious look. Look, I'm sorry, he added hurriedly. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, honest. I was just scouting for talent and I saw you and, well, was trusting this guy really the best idea? I was starting to worry just a little about whether he'd actually pay up. Look, I've staked everything on this sales demo later today, he went on. This is the make-or-break opportunity of a lifetime. Sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm in a ton of debt. 2 million yen. 2 million. Yanagishita's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. Hold on 1 second. Give me a moment. I gotta find something real quick involving another thing.
Even if you don't have super meta parts.
What the fuck?
I'm trying to get over my needs for dead hard, but sometimes a little bit of distance.
Okay, that's not who I thought it was. Sorry. Anyways, where was I? Let's see, Yanagishita's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. If I don't pay it back by the end of the day, then boy howdy am I up the creek without a paddle.
They're the strongest parts survivors in the game.
How did you even get into a situation like that? I asked. He gazed skyward, a far-off look in his eyes. Because even if he knows he has no chance of winning, sometimes a man just has to stand and fight. But I guess a girl like you wouldn't understand. He laughed and smiled at his own words, but he was right. I sure as heck didn't understand in the slightest. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagishita briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust a cat costume out toward me. What? Here? Yeah, before the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. The job's already started, you know? Making sure that there's nothing else here.
I really like.
Let's see, the burning hammer in the sample bottles is cut 10 parts to 1 with water. Even so, it is intensely spicy, and drinking it on an empty stomach is sure to cause gastrointestinal distress, or even make the drinker black out. It's hard to believe that a sample of something so dangerous would win over any customers, but you never know. There could be housewives or young women out there who'd accept such a risk in the name of weight loss. Another terrifying thought. And with that, Mr. Yanagishita went about getting me into the mascot suit.
Yeah, I need to get Trixie's parts on all.
Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I was going to get my hands on that necklace, I had to take the chance that this job would pay out. I doubt we're going to be able to sell a single bottle of this crap, Chidi whispers in my ear. I'll just have to do the best I can, I say. I say it more to myself than to anyone else. Once again, I ask myself, why am I in such a rush to get this necklace anyway? I honestly don't know. It's the strangest thing. I try my hardest to think of a reason, but all I get is a dull, aching throb at the back of my head. It's the same pain I felt earlier, as if I've gotten a good bonk on the head or something. Does Tama have amnesia? I think Tama has amnesia. Because she was struggling trying to think of her name, and she didn't get the name until she saw the tamago.
Is she getting head fucked by an alien in that suit?
Yes. I'm kind of thinking that it's the sister. I think it's the sister that was kidnapped.
That's probably more realistic.
See, I already did Achi. We can go back to Kano, Minorikawa, or Osawa. Let's try Osawa. He seems like a dude who exists.
How are these two?
Wealth, status, honor. None of these mean anything to me. All I want is a peaceful life. To put worry behind me. To stay calm and serene. To be free of worldly concerns.
Hello.
Free at any cost. Alright, we got music. A cheery rhythm pumped from the CD player set up against the study wall. It was the latest hit from Aya Kamiki, the songwriter sensation who was blowing up the pop charts. Kenji Osawa reached for the stereo remote on his desktop. I mean, me too, Snoop. He ratcheted the volume up a little louder. He looked like the sort of man who'd be more interested in classical music, but in fact he was a huge fan of the girl rock popular with middle schoolers. Closing his eyes, he swayed back and forth in time with the music, humming his favorite lyrics under his breath. But his movements faltered. It's no use. Aya's voice usually soothed whatever ailed him, but today even she couldn't help. Today, Osawa was a complete wreck, in both body and mind. Mounds of paperwork were scattered across the desktop in his study. All of it about viruses and vaccines. It had only been a week since he'd returned from a business trip to his company's branch office in the U.S., and he was slated to go back in another week's time. There was a truly staggering amount of work he needed to get through while he was at home. He picked up one of the papers, glanced at it aimlessly, and tossed it back onto the desk. Slumping back in his chair, he let out a long, deep sigh. He was in no mental state to work right now. A faint knock at the door barely roused him from his torpor. "Director, may I come in?" It was his vice director, Mamoru Tanaka. "Sure, the door is open." Tanaka came into the study. "I know it's not a great time, but..." Osawa could barely make out his words. He tapped the remote, lowering the volume of the music. Tanaka continued apologetically. "A call came in from the lab. They're hoping for a response to the email they sent yesterday." "I'm sure they don't need it today." "Apparently they do need an answer as soon as possible, sir. I did ask them to give you some more time, but..." "I see," Osawa said wearily. "All right then." Tanaka dipped his head slightly and slipped out of the room. Osawa contemplated his colleague. Tanaka was a man he could truly depend on. He has enough of his own work to do. He didn't need to come here again today, but he did. They'd been working in close concert ever since Osawa had gotten back to Japan, Without Tanaka's support, there was no way he would be in a mindset to do any work at all right now.
Okay, let me join your
Sidling up to his computer, Osawa opened his email program and started answering the work-related messages. He reported on his business travel expenses, offered his opinions on capital investments, requested confirmation on current medicinal stockpiles. He worked with bleak detachment. None of this meant anything to him right now. Then a new email appeared in his inbox. The sender was identified simply as A. The subject line read, 1 year ago, South Africa. The message body was blank, but there appeared to be multiple images attached. Ordinarily, Osawa would have deleted a message like this immediately, assuming that it contained some kind of virus. But the words South Africa drew his attention. Could this possibly be related to? He couldn't help but to wonder. I think this game is tied together with MGS5. It's gotta be. Especially at this point. It makes sense.
Lol.
For a long moment, he hovered the cursor over one of the image files. At last, as if spurred on by the upbeat rhythm in his ears, he double-clicked the mouse.
Is that the country when you can't eat the poo-poo?
That is. You like to eat the poo-poo? We say no to Obama! No to homosexuality!
I'll make you eat mine. Boo-boo.
What is this? The grainy photograph showed a large room with a dozen or so people laid out in beds. It appeared to be some sort of medical ward. Osawa felt a strange flutter in his chest.
Did he really say we say no to Obama lol?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we say no to Obama. No to homosexuality. Let's see, he quickly opened another image. This one showed a close-up of one of the patients in his bed. Large red blotches covered his face. A large volume of blood appeared to be dripping from his ears and nostrils. A cold shudder ran up Osawa's spine. What the hell? These symptoms. Osawa opened up the remaining image files. Each new picture showed another of the patients. They all appeared to be teetering on the brink of death.
Michelle is a trance.
There was no doubt about it. These people were infected with the UA virus. But how? Hold on, I totally missed that. The UA virus belongs to family Filoviridae. Genus, I don't know how to pronounce science words like that, so I'm just not going to try. It's a member of the same family as the Ebola virus and causes UA virus fulminant hemorrhagic fever. It is capable of airborne transmission, although an infected individual cannot pass on the infection before symptoms manifest. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have assigned the virus to Risk Group 4, their classification for the most dangerous infectious agents. Questions tumbled through Osawa's mind. His fingers tapped out a quick message.
Filoviridae virus.
Oh, I see you over there dealing no damage or something.
Sure, what you just said. He doubted he'd get a response, but he might as well try.
I just keep seeing immune popping up.
Who are you? Where are these images from?
Do I really need 2 more?
The UA virus got its name from Swahili word for flower. Supposedly, this was based on the fact that the propagated form of the virus resembled the petals of a flower. Despite the flowery name, however, the disease was anything but pretty. Ua didn't just mean flower, it also meant to kill. And as the name suggested, the virus had a mortality rate of 100% in those it managed to infect. Moreover, there was a very short incubation period between an infection, the onset of symptoms, and death. Within roughly 12 hours, bleeding would set in throughout the body, everywhere but the bones and muscles, with lethal results. Due to its incredibly high mortality rate, the disease's very existence had been kept hidden from public knowledge. Osawa's computer chimed to signify the arrival of a new email.
Sounds like
The sender was A. He hurried to open the message. Once again, the subject line read, 1 year ago, South Africa. Your crimes. Osawa stared at those words. My crimes? That left him only with further questions.
K the Toto song.
He looked again at the images from the previous email. What makes any of this my crimes? He could see that the patient's bleeding was severe. He estimated that several hours had passed since the onset of the disease. It wouldn't be long before their lives were cut short. To feel that agony, that suffering, and then to perish. Am I to blame for that? Another faint knock came at the door. Darling, do you have a moment? It was his wife, Ai. Yes, come in. I stepped into the study, the room filled with the scent of her perfume. Have you reconsidered the whole America thing? She asked. This again. Osawa thought sullenly to himself. Please, he said. Can we not discuss this right now? If not now, then when? You know this isn't a decision to just make on your own. On his latest business trip, a major American pharmaceutical firm had attempted to headhunt him, asking him to join them and be among the top researchers in the world. The money and prestige held no interest for him, and he was reluctant to turn his back on Okoshi Pharmaceutical after his many years of service. Nonetheless, he was intrigued by the offer. It would mean the chance to conduct his virus research in a much better funded environment. Taking the job would necessitate relocating to the U.S., however. When he'd mentioned the possibility of emigrating to Ai, she'd shot the idea down on the spot. Her opposition was understandable. Ai's father, Suguru Makino, was a member of Okoshi Pharmaceutical's board of directors. No way was he going to let Osawa jump ship to another company. Darling, please. I drew in closer to him. Think about it from my perspective. If you leave for America, what am I supposed to tell my father? He'd gotten so used to it, that grating whine of hers. Have you considered what might happen to Okoshi if you leave, dear? We can discuss that once all this is finished. Osawa kept his voice level as he could. You do remember that you're a director, right? I said. You have responsibilities. Stop thinking about yourself so much. With a sour look, I turned and departed. Well, he had known that moving to America would never be a simple matter, regardless of what his wife thought about it. There was another reason, however, the antiviral agent that he had developed at Okoshi. After the UA virus was discovered, infectious disease research facilities worldwide had thrown themselves into a top-secret effort to develop a vaccine. We know what that means. And we know what that means. But Makino had ordered Osawa to work on creating an antiviral agent, not a vaccine. A vaccine immunized the subject in order to prevent infection in the first place. Conversely, an antiviral agent could be used to treat patients already infected. It was a so-called wonder drug for combating the virus itself. Creating such a drug was far easier said than done. Who knows at this point? Developing the antiviral had been a long, arduous road. Only after years of research had Osawa's team succeeded in identifying a substance that might qualify as an antiviral agent for UA. In theory, if it was administered during the virus's initial stages, 100% recovery could be attained. Data also suggested an 80% survival rate for patients treated shortly after the onset of symptoms. But there was a fatal flaw with the new antiviral agent. The side effects on the body were unusually potent. If it was administered in amounts beyond a certain threshold, it was linked to life-threatening complications. For a time, the research was at an impasse. It had seemed that the drug had to be administered in high volume to combat the explosive propagation of the UA virus. But then Osawa had received some fortuitous news. What? No, Snoop. Don't talk like that. It's good to have you in our lives. Don't be like that. Okoshi Pharmaceuticals' nanotechnology branch had engineered a cutting-edge device known as the DDS. What is nanotechnology? Obviously, we know what that means. DDS, acronym for Drug Delivery System. Such a system administers ultramicroscopic drug capsules to a targeted area of the body. Oh, yeah.
Sounds like a lawsuit from Nintendo.
Osawa had jumped on it immediately. By administering his antiviral agent with the nanotech DDS, he was able to use smaller amounts of the drug to quash the UA virus with precision. Why does it show DDS again? Because a DDS can be used to deliver a drug with pinpoint precision and only where it is needed, it can greatly reduce the side effects of even very potent drugs. The DDS developed by Okoshi Pharmaceutical utilizes... Okay. Okay. The procedure was a huge success. There was a marked increase in the drug's efficacy, along with the expected decrease in adverse side effects. What are adverse side effects? I think we know. The effects had been confirmed via animal testing on monkeys, and now the antiviral was ready for the final development stages. Clinical trials on humans. But the very existence of this new wonder drug was still a secret. No doubt Okoshi's leadership would be reluctant to see Osawa, the drug's lead researcher, transfer to another company. Still, it wasn't completely outside the realm of possibility. Once the antiviral was out of development and announced to the public, Osawa would be free and clear. For that very reason, he was loath to cause any friction over the drug right now. This anxiety only magnified his concern about the email he just received. Osawa called up Tanaka over the intercom. "There's something I want to show you. Could you come in here?" He needed a second opinion, and Tanaka could be relied upon. Osawa opened the door the moment Tanaka knocked. He looked around before ushering his vice director inside. "What's this about, sir?" "This." Osawa showed him one of the images. Tanaka's face went pale. It can't be. Tanaka clearly recognized the symptoms of the UA virus. "Any idea what this is about?" Osawa asked. "No, sir. These images were just emailed to me. The subject line says 1 year ago, South Africa. That would put it around the same time as the most recent run of infections, wouldn't it, sir?" "But that information isn't..." Tanaka trailed off. Osawa nodded. "The thing I don't understand is why these pictures were sent to me." Osawa opened the other email from A. "The second message I got says that these pictures are my crimes." "I'll look into this on my end, sir," Tanaka said. He hesitated uncomfortably. "Sir, just to make sure, Are you asking about what I think you're asking about?" Osawa said. Tanaka gave a slight nod. "Understood," Osawa said. "Don't worry. I won't trouble you."
Those birds already gone?
"I appreciate that, sir."
Hell yeah.
Visibly relieved, Tanaka left the study. We're not getting the full story here. He's involved in something else, I feel. Osawa brought up a folder marked UA virus on his screen. Within the folder were enlarged images of the virus itself. He double-clicked one of the images. It blew up on the monitor to reveal the pathogen in intricate detail. The specimen of the UA virus was approximately 100 nanometers in diameter. 10,000 of them in line would take up barely a millimeter. But a single tiny virion, upon entering the human body, could become 2,000 in an hour. That speed of multiplication was nothing short of astonishing. Even the Ebola virus had a typical incubation period of 7 days or so before infectees developed symptoms. For influenza, it was 1 or 2, but the onset of the UA virus happened in a mere 12 hours. Osawa viewed an image slideshow of the virus's propagation mechanism. It was a fascinating sight, no matter how many times he looked at it. Viruses existed to multiply, nothing more. They had no motives, no driving logic, nothing but simple multiplication. To Osawa, that fact held a certain air of mystery. If viruses had emotions, how would they feel about their lives? He had thrown himself into virus research in search of answers to questions like that. Answers that no man could truly know. His development of the antiviral agent had really been nothing more than another job responsibility. He felt no particular sense of duty to protect people from a killer virus. He was just happy for a chance to play around with UA a day after day. Another email arrived in his inbox. The sender? A. The subject line, 1 year ago, South Africa. Again. Osawa read the message. Do not look away. These are your crimes. This time there were 4 images attached. Osawa proceeded to open each of them in turn. The first shocked Osawa so much that he felt like he'd been punched in the head. One of the UA patients from the earlier images was being injected with something. No, Osawa muttered to himself. It can't be. The second image showed one of the infected hunched over in pain, vomiting up blood. The symptoms had already manifested, but Osawa thought he could see that some degree of life had come back into the patient's eyes. He rushed to open the third image. It showed a morgue, piled high with corpses. The rictus of anguish on the dead faces made them look no longer human. Various fluids seeped from the eyes and nostrils. The lymph nodes were grotesquely swollen. In case you don't know, those are lymph nodes. There were hospital beds stained with massive amounts of blood and gastric fluids. Next came the fourth and final image. More corpses. They had badges affixed to their chests with various labels. 6 hours passed, 12 hours passed, and 18 hours passed. It looked as if someone had been attempting live trials with the antiviral agent. Osawa didn't consider the antiviral agent ready for release, but that was because his team hadn't conducted clinical trials on humans yet. And there was a good reason why such trials hadn't been conducted. There was no way to test the efficacy of the drug without an infected patient. To run a proper clinical test, someone would first need to be infected with the UA virus. No matter how effective animal testing had been, if the drug proved ineffective on humans, that person would have a guaranteed death sentence. It was unthinkable to run trials that involved such a deadly risk. And yet, as he looked over the images again and again, Osawa became certain. Without his knowledge, someone, presumably someone from Okoshi Pharmaceutical, had conducted human testing with the antiviral agent. The time markers on the corpses in the fourth image were surely there to mark the time elapsed since the onset of symptoms. A thorough trial would test the drug's effectiveness in those time frames. Osawa slammed his fist on the desk and raged. This was nothing short of vile human experimentation in the guise of clinical testing. The people responsible could not be allowed to get away with this. There was only one person Osawa could trust to keep this under wraps. His boss, Makino. He reached for his phone to call Makino, but he stopped short as soon as he picked up the receiver. He knew he was in no state of mind to have a calm, reasoned conversation right now. Turning to the CD player, he put on Aya Kamiki's latest album. Leaning back in his chair, he surrendered himself to her soothing tones. Bit by bit, he could feel himself returning to a calmer, emotional state. There had been a time when Osawa hadn't listened to music at all. In fact, he'd had no interest in the arts in general. Music, painting, cinema. It was only due to a simple coincidence that he found Aya Kamiki. His daughter had asked for a CD as a birthday present, so he'd swung by the store to pick one up. Since Kamiki's new album had just come out, there was a display for it in front of the shop. Something about the bright, colorful album packaging had drawn him in. After a time, Osawa could feel himself growing calmer. He took a nice, deep breath. Then he dialed up Makino. Has there been any progress? Makino asked as soon as he picked up. His voice was somber. No,
That said, then he died.
Osawa said. Nothing much yet. And then he died. A tiny sigh came in from the other end of the line. I see. What can I do for you? Sir, I'll just get right to the point. Have you conducted clinical trials using the antiviral drug? Makino didn't respond right away. What makes you think that? He asked at last. Osawa described the emails he'd received. When he'd finished, Makino let out his breath in surprise. Not over the phone. We'll discuss this in person. I'll head over to your place when I'm done here. As soon as possible, sir. As soon as I can manage, Makino said. You're not the only person who's busy. With that, Makino hung up. There was no doubt about it. There had been human testing. Osawa went to let Tanaka know he'd be meeting with Makino. Mr. Osawa, are you going somewhere? A stolid-looking man stood in the hallway, almost as if he'd been waiting for Osawa to emerge. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the detectives from the Shibuya precinct. He is sociable, but awkward, and despite his reserved personality, he can be quite unsettling. His colleagues at the precinct refer to him by nicknames such as Japanese Columbo and Little Ken Takakura, given his own quirky demeanor as a detective. He struck Osawa as a bit too soft-spoken and meek for a detective, really. And his treatment of the kidnapping case gave an impression of flighty detachment that made him seem rather undependable. No, not really. Have there been any developments, Detective? Kajiwara shook his head quietly. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Kajiwara then slipped a hand into his suit pocket. He pulled out a banana. Are you hungry? Why is there a definition for banana? What is a banana? Okay. So is he related to the girl that was kidnapped then? The doctor? And maybe that's why she was kidnapped? Because it's all related to the virus? So there's going to be like a fucking subplot of a dude trying to release a virus into the public.
Interesting.
Are you hungry? These are good for you when you're tired. I'm fine, thanks, Osawa said.
Just getting eco-terroristed.
Kajiwara seemed to lack a detective's sense of situational awareness. Just being around him got on Osawa's nerves. Well, sir, I need you to come with me, the detective said, if you don't mind.
His boss is gonna try to kill him.
He took Osawa by the arm. Oh, believe me, I get that feeling too. Or at least the boss is gonna kill himself or die along the way. As Kajiwara hurried him toward the living room, Osawa could hear other detectives talking on the other side of the door. He's working at a time like this? Seriously? Jeez. I do not get rich people in their priorities. Yeah, I feel bad for his daughter. Her dad's a real piece of work. Nice. They were bad-mouthing him in his own house. Oh, I'm really sorry about all that, Kajiwara said, pausing in embarrassment. Osawa pushed past him and opened the door. Yeah, that's exactly it. A number of police detectives had holed up in the living room. They went suddenly silent as Osawa entered. So tell me, he said sarcastically, would you rather I stay here weeping as I watched this disaster unfold? The detectives winced and grimaced. Forgive me for not being a perfect father, he added, his hostility building. Kajiwara stepped forward to intervene before things got out of hand. Now, let's not be touchy. I am not being touchy, Osawa snapped. But he knew full well that he was. These guys had the time to sit around backbiting him, but not to go out and bring Maria to safety. Already close to half a day had gone by without any new developments. The ransom demand had come in the previous night at 8 o'clock. Maria had been abducted roughly an hour before. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., by Hachiko in Shibuya, have the sister Hitomi bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit. The kidnapper called only once, so the police were unable to run a trace.
I don't like it.
I'll do it, Hitomi said. Anything for my sister. She didn't hesitate in the slightest at the suggestion that she make the ransom handoff. Osawa was staunchly opposed to the idea, but the police were of the opinion that it was better to acquiesce to the kidnapper's demands. Ai's reaction, on the other hand, baffled nearly everyone. We don't have 50 million just laying around. Are the police going to be putting that together for us? Kajiwara stepped in to reassure her. If it comes down to it, the police will be able to help raise the money. Okay. Go ahead then. Do it. We need you to pay it back afterwards, though, of course. Well, then what's the point of that? Ai's voice spiked up to a piercing shriek. Calm down, Osawa told her. You're making a scene. Ai turned away in a huff.
Oh, thank you.
It's all right, Detective, Osawa continued. I'll talk to the bank first thing tomorrow morning and figure something out. At that, I stormed out of the room. Kajiwara bowed his head several times in apology. As soon as Hitomi has made contact, we'll apprehend the suspect and take things from there. What? Hold on. Won't that put Maria in danger? If we let the kidnapper get away with the money, we have no proof that he will return the hostage safely afterwards. There was a certain logic there. Osawa had to concede. I see, he said. So you're saying that catching this guy will be easier for you if he keeps my daughter hostage? No, that's not what I was implying at all. Kajiwara wiped the sweat from his brow and bowed profusely. At least, I promise we'll get your daughter back safe and sound, Mr. Osawa. Obviously, there was nothing to be gained from further challenging the detectives. All right, then. I'll let the police do their job. Osawa bowed even lower than Kajiwara had. How long are you going to just loaf around? I shrieked as she stormed into the room. Hurry up and arrest this guy! She was becoming increasingly hysterical. An hour had passed since the suspect had taken the money, and yet the police had made no effort to apprehend him. The police apparently had a rule against discussing an operation before it was fully resolved, and so the Osawas had been left in the dark. But they had overheard the task force talking over the wireless, and it appeared that they were deliberately letting the suspect roam free. Hey! I snapped again. If he gets away with our money, you are going to reimburse us, right? Osawa scowled. She made it sound like the money was more important than Maria's life. The detectives exchanged uneasy glances. clearly this is not a good time to speak up. Like, the wife's on edge. I'm sure the husband's on fucking edge, especially after the emails.
Isusa's fucking GL.
Osawa said nothing.
B?
By now, he was accustomed to Ai's coldness toward the two girls. The twins were Osawa's daughters from his first wife, who'd passed away 15 years ago. Ai had no blood ties to Maria or Hitomi herself.
Somebody call Conan.
Well, Ai continued, are the police going to reimburse us or not? She glared pointedly at Kajiwara. Well, right now we're focused on making sure Maria is safe. I stormed up to him, shouting right in his face, "Stop dodging the question! Answer me!" Yes, of course, Kajiwara squeaked. Maybe, would you like something to eat to help you calm down? He held out a banana. I smacked it out of his hand. Oh dear, what a waste. Kajiwara scrambled to retrieve the fruit from the floor. Osawa went over to Tanaka and whispered into his ear, "I'm going to meet with Mr. Aquino." Tanaka nodded silently. Turning, Osawa saw Kajiwara looking in their direction. They made eye contact, but Osawa quickly looked away and strode out of the living room. Kajiwara followed after him. Excuse me, Mr. Osawa? Yes, what is it? The detective fussed sheepishly with his hair and forced a smile. Sir, we'd appreciate if you could remain in the living room as much as possible. Osawa was in no mood to stand on propriety. Propriety, rather. Jesus fuck. I can't read right now, and my tongue has been moving all day. Words are hard. I'm done with words. I'm just gonna make throat noises. Look, I've got a ton of work to do, he said. Are you here to tell me to play the role of the grieving father, too? No, not at all. Personally, I happen to think you're an admirable father, Mr. Osawa.
It's blender time anyway.
Admirable. Did the word have a ring of sarcasm? He had no way to tell if Kajiwara was being forthright with him or not. You're no ordinary fellow, Mr. Osawa. You're a genius. A genius? Me? Osawa made a skeptical noise. Am I mistaken, sir? You've made very important strides in the field of virus research. Or, well, so I've been told. Osawa wasn't sure how to respond. He had never considered himself a genius. He was just someone who was more interested in viruses than he was in other people. Everyone who's a genius is also a little bit odd, after all, Kajiwara went on. Probably he'd intended that as a compliment, but still. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with weirdos. So as long as they leave us ordinary folks alone, you know? Is this guy trying to praise me or insult me? Osawa let out a heavy sigh. Genius weirdo. What did it even matter? So long as he could be left to his work, he didn't care one whit how he looked in other people's eyes. Kajiwara wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief. By the way, what are you working on right now? He asked. I'm afraid you wouldn't understand even if I explained it to you, Osawa replied. Right, precisely. Even if I gave it my full attention, it would still be beyond me. He peered with sudden intensity at Osawa's face. I'd appreciate if you didn't hide things from me, sir, he said. Osawa gaped, at a loss for words. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kajiwara added hurriedly. Goodness, that made it sound like I'm accusing you of hiding something, didn't it? The detective bowed his head repeatedly. I hope you'll forgive me. He held out the banana. That won't be necessary. How about this, then? This time, he pulled out a bar of chocolate from his pocket. No, thank you. Did this guy just carry an endless food supply wherever he went? Oh my! You geniuses really are tough to sort out.
An open bar of chocolate.
He inclined his head, mumbling to himself for a moment. What can I get for you then, sir? What I'd really like is some goddamn peace and quiet. Is some time by myself.
Really slacks.
In a daze of exasperation, Osawa felt his way to study. Locking the door, he finally let out the breath he'd been holding. Then his eyes alighted on the bookshelf against the wall. It's 11 o'clock now. We'll finish this little chapter up. He pulled out a photo album and began to flip through it. There were pictures of his daughter's grade school enrollment ceremony. Their mother had already passed away from illness, so Osawa had taken the girls himself. He remembered that after the ceremony, Hitomi had come down with a fever. Hitomi had been rather sickly as a girl, falling bedridden at the drop of a hat. Maria, by contrast, had been lively and energetic. Quite the handful. Osawa had found it remarkable that their personalities could be so different despite them being twins. He flipped further into the album. There was a picture of the three of them at their grade school graduation. Maria was looking away from the camera. Osawa felt like someone had stabbed a dagger in his heart. His daughters or virology? Which truly concerned him more? Which did he truly love? It was ridiculous to try to compare the two. He'd known the answer before he even asked himself. Even so, human emotions were complicated, and sometimes made people act inconsistently. One of the consequences of that was this photo album. This was the last photo he had of Maria. He searched and searched through the rest of the album, but she was nowhere else to be found. Okay. The story's actually getting really interesting. I am enjoying this. Alright, it is 11:02 now, so I'm going to work in Blender for the rest of the night. I'm going to assume that the game already saved, because it saves quite frequently on its own. So it's been fun. I'll be back tomorrow with either Days Gone or more of this, depending on what the boyfriend decides to play tomorrow when I'm out of work. So, have a good night. See you next time. I'm going to go over to the site that shall not be named and work on models.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies.